Okay, so Anita Agarwal, Head of TDT, Department of Science and Technology for the Government of India.
Thank you, thank you, Professor Peker, and thank you, Dr. Nimisha. So, can I have my presentation, please? Technology Development Group in Department of Science and Technology. So, primarily, we support programs and projects on technology development, starting from TRL level 2 to 3, and we go up to TRL level 6. So I will be just talking about one of our thrust areas, solid waste management, that we are undertaking in our department. So Department of Science and Technology is one of the constituent departments of Ministry of Science and Technology. So under Ministry of Science and Technology in India, we have 3 departments: Biotechnology, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, and Department of Science and Technology. So primarily, we are sector agnostic. DST is sector agnostic, and we don't support any particular sector per se. So we cater to needs of all the stakeholders, starting from school children up to a common man, an innovator who has come up with a novel idea. So coming to the vision of Department of Science and Technology. So this is our vision which is set for the coming times, and sustainability and inclusiveness. These are the 2 main criteria which have been integrated in the vision and in our programs also. So what we are looking at is how to enhance the quality of R&D. So as far as quantity is concerned, in terms of scientific output and number of publications, we are third in the world. Globally, we are placed at the third. But how about improving the relevance and the quality of that R&D, so that as to solve the problems which are being plagued in the society? Then the translation. So we have developed technology, then how do you translate? How do you take that technology further for demonstration, deployment, and implementation? So that is another challenge which we are trying to address through our new schemes. And then how do you connect the various stakeholders in the society? As I can see, all the stakeholders are sitting here today. So academia, R&D lab, industry, startups, MSME, how do you bring them to one common platform and develop the integrative programs so as to include all these stakeholders sitting together and looking at a wholesome solution for a particular problem? So some of the schemes are oriented towards that also. Then societal connect and contract. It is very important, like you have science for the people, and then at the same time you have to generate masses, the people, the scientists who can do that science for the people. So both ways, science for the people and people for science. So the vision is to have a balance between the both ends. Then diversity and inclusion. Inclusion means geographical, gender, all kind of inclusion are taken into account when we look at the DST scheme. And then we have to align our program with national priorities and national agendas also. So in one such alignment, when like Swachh Bharat mission was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister in 2015, this program on solid waste management was initiated by the department. So what exactly to achieve this vision, what we are trying to do is we are trying to link industry, academia, and the government, bringing them to the same platform and to look at the sustainable solutions. So as far as basic research is concerned, or knowledge generation is concerned, so globally, like that kind of research is funded by the government resources only, which generates knowledge and which fetch you the publications. So, but when it comes to later the use of that knowledge that you have generated to solve the problems, so for the translational research and technology development, so we see like in the countries which are leader in the innovation and technology development, and we are also slowly pacing towards in that space. So that is funded partly by the industry. Although the trend is not so popular in India at the moment to industry to fund the academic research, but at least we are seeing a positive trend. At least industry is willingly coming forward and participating in the projects which are implemented by the academia. So like so for the support of all basic research, basic R&D for public generation of publications, so we have a autonomous institute, a statutory body, Science and Engineering Research Board. So just equivalent to NSF in USA. So they are looking at all the basic research funding. So when it comes to technology development and mainly mission mode programs, so they are being implemented by the DST. So recently in the recent budget, you must have heard about the quantum mission. So that mission will be implemented by the DST. So for technology, so if you are looking at the technology for if you are looking at proof of concept and any knowledge generation, so basic research takes care of that. Then our group comes into picture. So we are focusing on technology development between TRL level 3 to 6. So we go up to demonstration in the actual field settings. So beyond that, like if you are looking for any support for startups and incubators, so we have a different program in DST which gives support to incubators, and through incubators, startup support is provided, maximum to the tune of 1 CR to a startup. So, and when you look, when industry is looking for any kind of support for commercialization of the technology, so if you have industry has a technology, or if they are fetching a technology from abroad and trying to adapt it for the Indian condition, so to support that kind of endeavors also, department has another statutory body, Technology Development Board, which provides support to the industry for commercialization of technology. So these are three different verticals. One, where we are looking at development. Second, where we are looking at the startup ecosystem. And third is the industry. So all the stakeholders have been covered through different schemes and different organizations of DST. So coming to the technology development program, which we are implementing. So these are our key areas, focus areas. And when this waste management program was launched, so we were asked to prepare a roadmap eventually, what exactly department or would like to focus and what are the needs of the country where department would like to align themselves. So these are the like four focus areas where we looked at. So what are the urgent areas of research? There are certain areas where technologies are available in plenty, but the problem is how to take them forward. And one, there are gray areas where you have the waste which is lying there, but you don't have the technologies for that waste. So, and second, the technology actionable ideas. The technology is there. So then you have to assess the technology and look at it, whether it is actually viable to be deployed in the field. So viable in terms of like cost economics, viable in terms of other resources, viable in terms of environment. So you have to look at all the various factors, whether the technology which has been developed by the academia is actually viable, whether it is actionable so that it can be taken to the field. Then if it can be taken to the field, then what should be our approach? How should we support it? Then establish synergy among research institutes. So we see a lot of duplication in the efforts because we have, like in India, we have different kind of ecosystems. We have universities which are into research. Then we have our national labs which are also doing research. Then we have some NGOs and private organizations also which are in this area of waste management. So they are also undertaking some research activities. So how to bring, and most of these research institutes, they are governed by different ministries. So how to bring synergy between these academic institutes and university-based research or any government initiative, how to bring synergy among these people so that at least if they are working on the same problem also, so they come together at the same platform and then try to find a better solution for that problem. And then areas on which at least this startup ecosystem can be pushed. So as you know, we have a flourishing startup ecosystem in the country where we have more than 1 lakh startups, and quite a considerable number of these startups are working in the area of waste management. But again, the profitability and sustainability, so those are two factors on which still we have to do a lot of work, okay, how to make it viable and how to make it sustainable also. So then we went ahead with the interministerial consultation. So we went around and consulted with 27 ministries and to understand the kind of waste they have, like their users have, and what should we do to handle that waste. So we went to them and just to understand the kind of waste. Then we went to R&D departments also, and we collated their efforts and see what exactly their focus areas is, if they can align with the those problems which have been raised by the user ministries. So we went ahead and we did all interministerial consultation. So all this exercise, it took us around 6 months to map the existing resources and to map the needs of the user ministry. So ultimately, top level intervention, policy interventions are needed if you want to adapt any technology solutions. So then we have consultation meetings, and then we have meetings at the higher level of secretaries also. So I'm just taking up the technology implementation part from the report. So what we, after these stakeholder consultations, so what we found was that for field level demonstration, so you need to have user ministry with you. If you go ahead and do any kind of demonstration without like top level ministerial involvement, so it is very difficult to take the technology to the masses. You can do the demonstration and deployment at 1 or 2 places. But see, the solution, the problem that we are looking at may have relevance in multiple places. So if you want to propagate a solution nationwide, and if you want to have a larger acceptance, then you need to involve the respective ministries for which you are looking at the solution. So, and then for field level implementation, academics who have developed the technologies, so they alone cannot do any kind of field level implementation. You need to have industry or startup with you if you are trying to do any kind of field level implementation. So lab level technology up to a small pilot scale can be handled by the academic institute. But beyond that, if you really want to see how technology is working in the field, so industries, user industry or users as well as the manufacturing industry, so they have to chip in. So, I mean, these are few examples which I have picked up. So we have a repository of such 300 plus technologies. So these are the labs which have developed, and then the stakeholder ministries. So these technologies, the solutions are already there, maybe at a TRL 4, 5 or 7, or some cases at a TRL level 8 also. And they have alignment with the stakeholder ministry also. Now the next step will be how to take it forward. So if you are looking for this solution, then you know the stakeholder ministry, so then industry can always approach that ministry and then go for the propagation and promulgation of the technology. So then, like, in order to have a smooth path, then have a strategy, then how do you establish the synergy between these institutes? So implementation was one part and synergistic approach is another part, where you bring all the stakeholders on a common platform. So it's important to identify the groups who are into this technology development path. And then possibilities, then you have to explore how to work in a collaborative mode. So everyone has their own vertical, then how to bridge the gap between these verticals, bring them together on the same platform. And the avoiding duplicity, that is also another important part. Overlap, conscious overlap is always welcome. So if we know X is doing it, Y is doing it, Z is, ABC is also doing it, 6 people working on the same problem, that is a very good move. But at the same time, they should be on same platform also. They should know what A is doing, B is doing, and vice versa. And technology, and it's very important when we are looking at these technologies, so they should be in compliance to the waste management rules by the Government of India. So this compliance is also equally important. So when we are looking at these technologies by different research institutes, so their compliance to the waste management rules and the established standard in the country, that is also equally important. So if you look at the funding support, so DST is not the only organization which is providing funding support for waste management technologies. So apart from my group in DST, so the startups, they are promoting the waste management solutions. So around, if we look at our incubators, so around 5 to 7% of the startups which are in our 150 incubators, so they are working on waste management solutions. And our technology development board, so last year they gave an open call to support industries who are in the waste management domain. So around more than 100 industries, they registered initially, and 30 applied for the support. And out of that, 10 were selected to provide support. So those 10 were in the area of plastic waste management, e-waste management, and one was in the area of this tire waste management. So these are different funding agencies which are funding at different TRL levels in the Government of India system. So looking at the need of the hour, like after doing all these stakeholder surveys, interacting with the different stakeholders, so what we arrived at, we need compact, economically viable, environment friendly and decentralized. Like that is the key word. The technologies, whatever solutions we look for our country, they should be decentralized. You cannot have one monolithic structure in the country where you get waste from everywhere and then just try to process it there. So we, for our country, the decentralized technologies are going to play a key role in management of the waste and enabling adequate resource recovery. So the resource recovery, so the waste to wealth is another important aspect that we have to look at to support the circular economy and zero waste society. So looking at this, the objectives of waste management were aligned to all of these needs. And then we started going for the call-based proposals. And recently we have launched our next call 2 days back. So the call is on the social media also and on the DST website also. So these are the summary of the projects that we have supported through various calls. So 4 calls have already been given and we have supported more than 100 projects through these efforts. And we have reached out to, I would say, around 1,000 academic stakeholders. So more than 1,000 proposals we have received in DST, especially on the focus of waste management. So these stakeholders were from universities and then research institutes, engineering colleges. So we have covered the wide base of stakeholders through these calls as far as academia is concerned. So, the construction and demolition waste, plastic waste, these are our one of the key areas for all the calls. And apart from these calls, our international division is also working on the same lines. So they have, last year there was an Indo-Sweden call and Indo-Canada call also. And this year, Indo-German call will be there for solid waste management. So this is the output. This is again from a CSIR lab only. So this is the technology is for manufacturing a new class of hybrid green composite material. And the technology is ready for commercialization, demonstration, field trial, everything is complete. So this is the level up to which we go. And this is we have given a project to support flexible payment with waste materials. So they have prepared the payment blocks, done the field demonstration, and now here also again the technology is there for demonstration. So around 50 plus projects have been completed, and out of that, if we look at 30 plus technologies have been demonstrated in the field. But they are just around 4 to 5 technologies have been transferred to industry also, and remaining are waiting for deployment and commercialization. And the remaining projects are ongoing. So waste to energy is being looked by our sister Department of Biotechnology. So our focus is not from waste to energy. So how do we go about the program? So these are our outreach activities. We conduct workshops under Swachh Bharat Mission across the country to spread awareness about the technologies which have been supported through our program. And then we have prepared a compendium of technologies which have been supported through our program, which gives all the details about the technology. And it is available on DST website. If anybody is interested, you can please look at it. Then we keep publishing our success stories on DST website and through PIB on our social media also. So interested stakeholders can always look at the social media of DST also. And now we have created technology enabling center in the universities. So when we were implementing these technology development programs, we observed that the participation from universities is really compromised as far as technology development is concerned. So we have created technology enabling centers in 22 universities within the country. So which work on IP awareness and forming the technology transfer policies for the university and create an enabling ecosystem within the universities so that faculty can interact with the industry on regular basis and then come up with the solutions to their problems. So through these enabling centers also, we are trying to propagate these technologies. Otherwise, we have state councils also in more than 27 states in the country. So we are using that mechanism also to create awareness about the technologies which have been developed by our researchers. So these are the focus areas for our current call, which is active. So now, when we started off, it was a very generic program. Now we are becoming more and more focused, and we are looking at the specific problems. So the definition of problem is evolving with the period over a period of time. So this is another area for the circular economy in toxic and hazardous industrial waste. So thank you one and all for your patient hearing.
Thank you.